So the Qatar World Cup is about to get underway this upcoming weekend. And I'm sure we can expect to see protesting and virtue signaling to be at the highest order it's ever been in World Cup history, which I'm sure will do exactly nothing to change the situation that's happening over there. Now, a bit of history, because it's important to note that the World Cup venues are announced in the same manner as other big events like the Olympics. They're awarded with plenty of notice for the hosts and people to give all a manner of enough time for them to make necessary adjustments, to prepare, and for the regular people to be able to, save up and make preparations to attend. Now, Qatar was awarded the World Cup back in 2010, so that's 12 years. 12 years ago, and the same problems that have existed then, they still exist today, and they've been well documented. And Sepp Blatter has recently come out. I don't know why he needed to come out. We all know this anyway, and said it was a mistake to award it to him. And we all know the reason why it was given to him. Money talks, BS walks. All the trials, all the tribulations that Sepp Blatter has gone through, uncovering which people have uncovered, all the bribes and etc. taken place. Look, it was no secret to us when the name was pulled out why Qatar got the World Cup. It just is what it is. So for all the outcry that's happening, the reason why it won't make a jot of difference is because, let's be honest as well, the optics. All the top nations are still competing and going. Of course, those who managed to make it through the qualifiers, of course, and equally so, all the ones who were, virtue signaling on their massive platforms who aren't playing, but the pundits who have been so critical in the media, like Gary Neville and others, they're joining the party themselves, being paid by the boatloads to be there. I mean, when I hear that Gary Neville is being signed by the Qatari broadcasting nation I'm like, what? What message does that signal? That even though you hate everything about a World Cup in which we all knew about, everyone is still gearing up to attend like it's any other tournament. But, wearing rainbow shirts, kneeling, or whatever type of political protesting that they have planned, that will surely show the people how committed they are to fighting injustice. But again, still attending, and some of them getting paid a king's ransom to do whatever, promotion of the World Cup that they're doing, or punditry, or whatever type of work that they're doing. Now, I'm going to play a clip of Simon Jordan from TalkSport, who surmises perfectly the situation on the matter.
Gary talks a lot of sense about a lot of things and a lot of nonsense about some other things. And in this instance, of course, he's going to be called a hypocrite, because you know what you have to do when you want to advance a cause and you want to be at the front of the queue for doing so? You have to invest some self-sacrifice in that. And no one wants to. Hummel don't want to. Sainsbury's don't want to, when they're advertising the fact that we love Pride while selling products to Saudi Arabian stores, which are probably one of the most discriminatory countries in the world towards LGBT issues. And Gary Neville doesn't want to. So let's stop with the lecture. Let's stop with the virtue signalling and just get on with the fact you're the same as everybody else. You have different views. They are conflicted at times. And what your primary view is, what am I in the business of? I'm in the business of Gary Neville.
And ultimately, I share his sentiments on this. If you strongly believe that something goes against your beliefs, that's fine. We all have different belief systems, different values. We do certain things that I would do that some others won't, and vice versa. But when you want to stand on it, and you've made it publicly clear that you're standing on it, along with that, there has to be self-sacrifice. Otherwise, in the case of Gary Neville and others, people will rightly call you a hypocrite, even if your views are extremely valid. Why? Because it's a do as I say, not as I do. Hypocrisy at its finest. Now, this isn't about, criticizing someone saying, you have to be perfect, because no one's perfect. Lord knows I'm far from it. But when people remember a lot of the greats who came and went earlier than they should have, they've had to make some serious sacrifices, putting it all on the line, standing for the cause that they believed in. Now, this isn't that type of show or that type of situation where it's that severe where any of this needs to take place. But are you telling me that a lot of these multi-millionaires couldn't have declined either the work that they're doing behind the scenes, again, punchy work, ambassadorial work, whatever the work may be that they were offered, or even these footballers from these top nations, they ain't going to miss a beat if they weren't going to go to this World Cup, especially mid-season as well. I mean, was the money or opportunity that good for them to turn it down? That's my question. That's my only that's my only answer to all of this. I mean, I take the approach and stance that the Foreign Secretary of State, James Cleverly, takes.
These are Muslim countries. They have a very different cultural starting point for us. I think it's important when you're a visitor to a country that you respect the culture of your host nation. We do talk to them about our values and why we believe it's important that people's rights from all kinds of communities are respected. And of course, it will be something that we continue to talk to them about.
And that's right. Other nations have different values and belief system. It's not the place of others to try and force them to change that. We can definitely show them a better way. We obviously make our criticism on our side of the fence, if you like, but it's the duty and job of the people there, the government there, that they themselves will have to make the change when they believe it's right to do so. Of course, again, we can offer our support and guidance, but that's really as far as it goes. When visitors and tourists are going there, when they're only going there for 2 weeks and they want to try and show them that I can be who I want to be and you should be able to tell me what I am, listen, you go ahead with that mess. I guarantee you, you're going to have some punishment and some things which you aren't going to like. And just remember, you're not in the West. You're in their home, their place, so their rules apply. So it's only wise that you take the advice from James Cleverly, even though a lot of people have criticized him. Listen, this is street smarts. If I don't know anything about street smarts, anything about how to act when you're in another man's home or another nation, this is how you do it. What's the rules that go on there? When in Rome, do as the Romans do. You're only there for a couple of weeks. That's exactly how you should behave. But we'll see how that goes. And besides, again, if people feel that strongly about it, and again, no problems with it at all, then take a leaf out of the US book when they boycotted the Olympics in 1980. And this was after the Soviet Union had invaded Afghanistan. Now, the Soviets invaded Afghanistan in 1979, just 1 year before the Olympics was due to take place. So they would have done all that preparation and then would have made a decision, we're going to boycott it. So it wasn't like it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. No. Only 1 year. And they still boycotted it. Whereas in this situation, we knew about this since 2010. 12 years later, now we've got no one who's going to boycott. We've got a lot of virtue signaling, a lot of grandstanding. But at the end of the day, people are still going to go the same way, getting paid a king's ransom to do so. And exactly what is it going to yield? Probably next to nothing. Simon Jordan said in the video, if you want to stand by the courage of your convictions, then some self-sacrifice has to take place. But no one wants to do it nowadays. Everyone wants to have their arena, their platform when they can say what they want to say. And yet, when it comes to actually doing the do, it's a whole different story.